All right. Hello, Kimberly. Hi, Jasmine. We have some people hopping on already.
Oh, so we'll pull out the chat here.
Hi, Margie. Hi, Mike. Hello. Feel free to let us know your business name and where you're watching from today. We'd love to hear. Omaha, Nebraska Springs Artworks, Kimberly Oberg, alternative here in Columbus, Nebraska. Awesome. Well, hello everyone, and I hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. But we're just gonna go ahead and kick it right off since noon has striked. But I'm sure more people will be hopping on or watching the recording, of course. So let's go ahead and get started. Our featured sponsor for the month of May is Signature Performance. And of course, without our sponsors and our partners, none of these would be possible to offer to the public and of course our Grow Nebraska members. So a huge shout out to them. And our featured member for this month is L24 Kids, and they joined Grow Nebraska in 2018. And they do a lot of awesome stuff for kids in school. So feel free to check out their Facebook or their website. And then, of course, this week's presenter is Maria Duron. Sorry, let me just butcher your name, who you may recognize as our keynote speaker from Market Tech 2021. And just a reminder, she will be doing a webinar every first Wednesday of every month. So be on the lookout for the next training to be posted. But I'll go ahead and stop my screen share and let you take over, Maria.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, and welcome to everybody. I see Omaha here. I see, wow, Columbus, there we go. Look at that. I see everybody. I pulled out the chat box so I can hear you because that's the best place that I can listen to you. If you have any questions, I do customize everything that I do for any audience in the room. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and get my screen shared here. And we'll go to here. All right. So let's go ahead and get this going. And today, of course, thank you very much to Grow Nebraska for hosting this, for making sure this is available to everybody. And, oops, for some reason now, I am not able to forward. Let's try this again. Oops, something happened where I'm not able to forward slides. Hold on just a second. We were practicing this beforehand. Now it's not going for me. All right, let me try this again. Some reason it's not working for us. Okay, I can see. Let me stop the share for a moment and then I'll come back in and see if I can do it again because it's not giving me the opportunity to do anything real quick. No controls at all. All right, hold on just a moment. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I know we've got a big subject to go ahead and take care of. Come off of this. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead back to the share. All right, everybody, I think we're good now. I see the slides coming up, so go ahead and let me know if you don't see the slides, but you should see the slides there that say Grow Nebraska, Grow with Google. I'm Elena Duron. Thank you so much for your patience. You know, as much as we test tech, it always seems to have its moments, right? So you've got to get in there when it's not so finicky. So it is being a little bit wonky, but hopefully that doesn't give us any trouble. Now, if you've never been in a session with me before, I'm excited to have you here. And for those of you who have, welcome back. So I'd love to know if we saw and met each other in Marketech. Just let me know in that chat box. That's the best place we can communicate. For those of you who've not met me, my name is Maria Elena Duron. I am a Grow with Google trainer, but more importantly, I'm also a small business person. So I come from small business ownership, 18 plus years. So I know what it's like to be butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and now you have to be chief analytics and data analyst, right? So you've got to be in charge of all these things. And in order for you to be able to make some really good business decisions, it's important for you to understand how to look at your analytics, how to read your analytics. And then now you're even seeing, for those of you connected to analytics, those of you are seeing that you need to switch over from universal analytics, which is our classic analytics, all the way now to what is known as GA4. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. This is who I am. Of course, I'm with the Google team, but today I'm helping you with how you can make better business decisions with absolutely looking at your analytics and what to look at, because a lot of times we look at information that is very interesting, but it is a neat to know, N-E-A-T, and not a need to know, and what we need for business decisions. So if you are sending anything out, if you want to use the hashtag Grow with Google, this lets Google know this matters to you. And I love that, because they love anytime that they can see we trainers are active. If you want to tag me, this is me on Twitter right here, this first handle, Maria Duron, or you can find me at Maria Elena Duron. That's me on Instagram. And if you want to retweet or share me in a post and tag me, I will definitely share you in my story or retweet you out. Okay, do find that chat box, because that is where I do listen to everything that you're saying. And I like to make sure that I customize everything that's happening in here. Okay. That way it's a good experience for you. Let me bring this up front and center, because if you want a copy of the handout, there is a handout available right now, and you can get it here at this bit.ly link, which is bit.ly Grow Nebraska Analytics. So you can take a look there at the handout that's available to you. Now, if you come back later, I'll actually have the slides that I used today, because as I said, I customize everything. And I'm actually going to go out to a live demo to show you what it looks like as you're going from your universal analytics to GA4, which is Google Analytics 4, if you've not done that already. Feel free to also use this QR code right here. If you'd like to use that, just snap that. It will take you there. You will have to create a password to get in. There's no cost to you, but you will get a handout there. And if you come back later, then actually the slides will be there too that I do use. Okay. All right. You know, we talk a lot about data. And as I said a moment ago, that it's neat to know. There's a lot of things that are neat to know. Wow, it's a great fact that we had 1,800 people visit our site today. It's a great fact that 50 of them clicked in from Facebook. But what does that mean to our business decision making? It's really important for us to understand how it gets us closer to our goal or lifts that bottom line. And if we don't know how to do that, then there's a lot of information and data out there. It's like the other day when I was having a YouTube seminar, a session, and I was telling them, you know, that YouTube shorts are definitely seen, and I would repurpose any TikTok video I was doing to YouTube shorts, because it's evergreen, it's a search engine, and they get a billion views on TikTok and 15 billion on shorts every single day. So talk about visibility. Well, that's a great factoid, but now what are you going to do with it? What does that mean to me? That's where data becomes not just analytics, looking at different segments, but now it becomes insights that you can start making good business decisions with. So as we talk about that today, we're going to use our little example here, which is Eva and Ricky. Eva and Ricky really are looking at their data because they want to know, where are our customers coming from? You know, we may think we know, but a lot of times when we look at the numbers, we are surprised as heck where they actually are coming from. And a lot of times I tell people the numbers don't lie. You may buy your gut Know exactly where people come from, and that may have served you well, but what got you here will not get you to the next level. And you really need to know for a fact where people are coming from. The next thing to know is actually, how did they find you? A lot of people feel like, oh, they saw me on social, but did they really? Is that where they really came from? I work with a lot of teams that do what's known as exit interviews, and I hear people say all the time, I saw this here, and they were never there, even when you look at the tracking at the number. I used to 15 years ago be on television, and people will, even till this day, when I'm at the grocery store, will say, I saw you this morning on TV. And I think, I haven't been on in 15 years. How could you have seen me unless they're airing some sort of rerun, which they wouldn't, I don't think, of a newscast. So also we need to know, what did they find most interesting and what really sparks their curiosity? What will help them on that decision journey? And I know that's not the sexy part of marketing, but it's important for us to understand this, because without that foundation, we could spend a lot of time, energy, and money into all of this and not do well. And I don't want that for you, because I know as a small business, it's important for you. Cash flow is king. So let's talk about analytics. We'll go talk about Google Analytics. I'd love to know in the chat box if any of you are using Google Analytics right now. If you're using UA, which is classic or universal analytics, just put UA in the chat box. If you're already using GA4, so GA, so Google Analytics 4, number 4, just put that in the chat box. That'll give me an idea of who's in the room and what I need to slow down or speed up through. Remember what I said about customizing everything that I do. I'll help you understand. Perfect, Kimberly. Thank you. See, that's what I need. Everybody's feedback. Thank you, Kimberly. I hear you loud and clear. So understanding your account, understanding what reports to look at, because you could spend all day in analytics and really get lost and it just overwhelm you. And that's not what it needs to do. Also, it needs to help empower you to make good decisions. How to utilize the search box to find what you're looking for in the new GA4. How you can use ads. I'm going to leave that to the very end and just touch on that really briefly, because everything that I like to talk about, since I'm a bootstrap marketer, is really about how you can make the most of free tools instead before you have to get to paid. So let's do everything that we can with free tools. We'll talk about how you can maximize Google Analytics to help you make those decisions. And as I end everything off, I always do a recap, because I know that knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. So this is an investment of your time, not an expense, if you look for 2 or 3 things that you will apply, and then of course free resources, because I always love to do that. So let me go here real quick and take a look at what's happening in the chat, because currently using the older version. So that's UA, Universal Analytics, the classic version. Perfect. Not using either. No worries. No worries, Mike. Thank you. Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much, Karen. All right, perfect. Do not know any of these terms. Great, because this is going to be very helpful to you. And I know it's going to be eye-opening in you understanding exactly how people shop and consume. And when I say the word shop, even though I come from 14 years of international e-commerce, understand before then I was involved in nonprofit. I understand that the business of a nonprofit, an organization, and a company is to get people to understand who they are, to get them to do what's known as a conversion action on their site, which means that they're going to call you, fill out your contact form, download the PDF, sign up to fundraise or to friend raise, or to buy something, or to be able to watch a video. All of those things. So we'll talk about how that is impacted in analytics and how you need to understand it. Now, you heard me allude to Eva and Ricky, because I saw them coming up there in the graphic, and that is going to be our pretend business that we play with as a case study and making some decisions, but really think about your business, because it's more important how you're going to apply what you learned today. So as I bring this up so you can see that better, I told you about gut instinct and the difference between that and data-driven. I understand gut instincts, and for many of you, this has served you so very, very well. And I love that. I'm in awe anytime I'm in a room with entrepreneurs and startups, because what they've actually applied with very little and just made it happen is pretty amazing to see that connected. Can you imagine what it's like when you really become an expert in your customer and you understand exactly how it is they consume information and what gets them to buy from you or to do business with you? Again, I'm going to use the word buy because I come from an e-commerce background, but do understand that when I say buy, I mean a success action on the site. watch a video, download something, leave their phone number or their contact number, call you, any of those. Now, it's important for us to understand SMART goals. So you see that here, and specifically that is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. You have to have all 5. Test all of your goals. SMART test every single one of them, because if you're missing a piece, that will truly affect you and cost you a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money. It does need to be specific, so you know what you're looking for. You can spend, as I mentioned, all day in Google Analytics and just come out with some great trivia. So you'll do great in Trivial Pursuit or over at the pub playing a trivia game, but you're not going to do very, very well in business because you've not applied the SMART test. So for example, if my goal is to get 50 Facebook followers, so when data-driven is projective, yes, I love that. Kat said that. I love that. I respect gut instincts are reactive while data-driven is projective. Very nice. And we truly do want to plan for that future and to elevate us to where our vision and our actual goals are. Because we're, June 26th, just so that you know, June 26th is what's known as halftime. So that is, if we were playing a game of football and January 1st to December 31st is how we were able to track the game, June 26th is halftime. And if we're not halfway to our goal, what are we going to do different in the second half that is different than we did in the first half to get us there? Okay, so part of that is SMART goals. So for example, let's say I wanted 50 Facebook followers. All right, that's just my goal. More Facebook followers. Well, more is not specific. So I already failed at the first part of that. So specific would be 50 Facebook followers this next month. Let's say I wanted that. Can I measure that? Yeah, I can see maybe I'm at 100 and I'm going to be at 150. Is it attainable? I don't know. How long did it take you to get to the 100 that you have? This is something for you to understand and really look at the trends and the growth of your business. So you do need to know month to month what's happening to give you a baseline of where you've actually grown. Are you getting closer to that goal? Is it relevant? I don't know. It depends what your business is. If my business is to be a social media influencer and creator, then it's relevant. If my business is that I'm a nonprofit and I want to get more people friend raising for me, it may not be at all. It might just be a vanity metric, which makes me feel good that people are looking, but it truly is not getting me closer to my goal or lifting the bottom line. Now, if you can tell me, hey, Maria, I know that people on social are, that social is actually borrowed land. So if for some reason Facebook or Meta shuts me down, something happens where I don't have access to people, how am I going to connect with them again if I don't have that platform or tool? So if you don't have that platform or tool, what's the next step? Well, I know if I get 50 Facebook followers and then I continually put on my post a call to action for them to drop off their email because they'll get a PDF about the 5 things they need to know about before they do business with a plumber, let's say. So before you choose a plumber, these are the 5 questions you need to ask or 5 things you need to know. If they download that PDF, now they leave their email address. And I know for every 50 people that I get, 5 of them will leave their email address. And of the people who leave email addresses, I am more likely, I get a 50% rate that they will do business with me. Now, it's relevant. You've connected the dots. It's more than just vanity metrics. And is it time bound? I want that by the end of the month. Absolutely. So it fulfills all of those sections of being SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but that is because it is key and foundational to Google Analytics and what you're doing in business. A lot of people don't think it's the sexy part, but I don't have a silver bullet. I have what is tested, true, and very, very much focused. In fact, so it's concrete. It's not something where you'll see you just have a flash in the pan and you're getting some business for 1 week and then it ends. So for Eva and Ricky, we can see they wanted to, in their t-shirt shop, create city themed designs. They wanted to focus on socials. So they were going to work on these 3 communities and they were going to monitor the practice all through Google Analytics. This is important for us to know because they are putting their baseline together here. So for you, what are your goals? Is it more sales, more leads, more appointments, more phone calls? Do you have an actual place, a location where people are coming in, or do you want them to download something? I'd love to know in the chat box what your actual goals are. And the reason why analytics are so important is because this will help you get you closer to those goals once you know what they are and you can target them. For example, let's pretend that I had a physical shop, right? I'm there in Kearney, I have a physical shop. People are coming in, it's the morning, they're coming in all day. And let's say my shop has aisles, right? Different aisles where I have different product at it or different things hanging. And as they come in from go to aisle 1, they go to aisle 3, and then they leave. They don't buy a thing all morning long. 1, 3, leave, 1, 3, leave. I'm wondering what's going on. But then the afternoon hits and there they come. They go to aisle 1, they go to aisle 4, and they go out to aisle 3. They pick out something and they buy. 1, 4, 3, buy. 1, 4, 3, buy. Now I've got questions. Okay. If I had a physical shop, I'd want to know what is it on aisle 4 that is getting and encouraging them to buy. I need to look. Or is it my customer in the afternoon compared to morning? Morning are just looky-loos, but people in the afternoon are more specific. What is it that's happening? Or is there anything on aisle 1 or aisle 3 that is keeping somebody in the morning from buying, that goes against something that's a demographic or a psychographic for them, that means that it's just not gelling with them? It doesn't encourage them or make them feel like they know, like, and trust me enough to do business with me. Now let's take that to a website. They come in page 1, they come into page 3, and they don't do anything. They don't watch the video, call you, download something, leave their email address, or buy. 1, 3, leave. Page 1, 3, leave. And then in the afternoon, 1, 4, 3, they do a conversion action. Remember what I said, conversion action is anything successful that you deem to be that your website is doing the heavy lifting and the work for you in being involved in your customer's success journey or your donor success journey or your sponsor, okay? As a SMART goal, let's see, I've got some, now just be careful though. I just want to let you know, I will read as much as I can here, but if it's a sentence long, it takes me about a minute and all you see is the top of my head. So it's not a really great experience, but I will be happy to answer all questions at the end, okay? And just in case I miss it. But I see Kat's got some really, she's got nuggets of advice here. If you look at the chat box, visits by the 20. Oh, this is your SMART goal, Kat. Thank you for being brave and stepping out there and sharing that. I did not see that. I just saw that scroll up. So thank you for doing that. I love that. This is perfect. Increase landing page average into 2 minutes. Of course, because the more people, the longer they stay on your site, the better. That makes a big difference. So understand that on average, people spend about 7 minutes on an Amazon page or Amazon site. And if you can get them to spend longer, they will do business with you. So when I say do business, remember what I said about a conversion action. All right. Let's take a look at here at what Google Analytics are. This is 100% free. If you've got a personal email account, a personal Gmail account, or if you just have a free personal Google account, so both are free. It's not the workspace account. You have access to Google Analytics. It's 100% free. I absolutely would take advantage of it, not just for understanding your customer better and being an expert on them, but also because Google tools connected together help Google understand and feel more confident that you are an actual real business, which means you show up higher in actual search. So why would you use it? To really understand your visitors, which is what I was sharing with you a moment ago, to learn what is truly working. While it might be great that you're really getting a lot of people watching your Instagram stories and reels, if it's not driving traffic and people, so traffic or people who go to your website, if it's not driving people to your website and they are not people who are converting and doing a success action on your site, is it really working for you? Or does it just make you feel good? And then of course, now you can start switching and making better business decisions. If I know people are coming from my Instagram stories as opposed to my TikToks, I'm going to put more investment in my stories than I am putting any time investment in TikToks. So you'll use this to understand what content is speaking to your customers. And you can create more of that content, especially that really works for them. You know, I know a lot of people like when I do reels that are within about 59 seconds and have a lot of graphic flashes showing up with the captions. When I do that, I get the most views ever. So I looked at those numbers and that's all that I focus on. No reason to do long form video and have to post that anywhere on Instagram Reels specifically. So when I look and evaluate channels, is it Instagram? Is it email? Is it the website? Is it phone calling? What is it? Are these the ads that are working? Is it my YouTube channel? Is it TikTok? It's really important for us to know that. And now we can lean in to what's truly working. So for Google Analytics 4, if you have GA4 is what we call it for short, we trainers lovingly call it GA4. And that means you have an ID number like this. What's the difference between Google Analytics 4 and Universal Analytics? Well, Universal Analytics would measure us before, that's classic analytics, so the original, and it would measure actions on your site. But if I came in, let's say from my phone, I came in from my laptop, my desktop, my smart TV, it would register me as 4 different people: my laptop, my phone, my smart TV, my desktop. But I'm still one person. So what Universal Analytics does, it actually looks and sees that this is Maria's phone. Maria has now thrown it to her smart TV because she's at home now. And now she's thrown it to her laptop so she can have a bigger screen to actually work off of. So understand the difference between those. And some people have both of these already connected together, which is fine. It still works having both. They don't hurt each other by having both of those on. So if you've not used Google Analytics, be logged into your free Gmail, free personal Gmail or free Google account, and you'll go to g.co/analytics. You're going to click on Getting Started Today. If you click Sign In and you are logged into your free personal Gmail or free Google account, then it will read your credentials and you'll be ready to go. It will see that you're there and you are going to show that you are the owner of that property or that website. So that's the next step. Now, if you have not set up Google Analytics 4, but you have classic or universal analytics, this is what you need to do next. And remember what I said about you'll get a copy of today's slides a little bit later today. I'll put those in the link that I shared with you where the handout's at. So as you look here, excuse me, you'll see that there's a setup assistant that you'll get there through admin. So let me show you what that looks like in real time. All right, let me go here for a minute. I'm going to actually show this to you, and I just need to switch my share so I can go to a real live demo. All right, you should be able to see then in the share, hopefully you can see. Yep, I see it coming through. You see a countdown. If you have Universal Analytics and you log into it right now, this is what's happening right now. You'll see in 58 days, Universal Analytics will go away. By July 1st, it will be gone. That's why I'm encouraging you to have Google Analytics 4 set up so it can start tracking how people use your website and give you that good data that will help you make good decisions. But it will go away. Now, if you click on Setup Assistant, that will help you set it up already. It will walk you through everything that you need to know. Now, there are different things in Google Analytics 4 because it is tracking the different devices that you're on or people are on when they're coming into your site that make it a little bit more challenging because you do have to use what's known as Google Tag Manager. And I'll let you know that I'm going to actually be releasing some helpful worksheets on how you can walk through and do that. So just make sure you stay connected with me. Of course, you will through Grow Nebraska, but you'll see that that is what you can do and walk through and just follow it as a checklist to set up your Google Analytics 4. But if you'll use Setup Assistant here, it will walk you through. In this instance, I'm going to say no thanks because maybe you already took this away just because it bothered you and you had business to take care of and you didn't want to really focus on that. No worries. You can go ahead and click on Begin Migration here if you want to, or you can go here to the Admin button, which is at the bottom left-hand corner. Click on Admin. When you go here, it takes you to the admin page. Let me make this a whole lot bigger because I'm broadcasting. All right, so as we look at this and you're an admin, you will go to GA4 Setup Assistant. You see that right in front of you there, GA4 Setup Assistant, and it will walk you through everything that you need to know, okay? Any questions on that? Because I'm about to launch into more as far as the reports that you can find in both and what that'll mean in you making decisions, good decisions. All right, let me go to the share then and going back to, let's see, hold on just a second. Let's minimize that. And there we go. All right, we should be back now to the slide deck. So do know that if you want to screenshot this, this will remind you of what we talked about today in going through the Google Analytics 4 Setup Assistant. And remember, if you want a handout, you'll find it right here, or you can use that QR code and I'll get out of the way. No worries, Margie. You will get a copy of the recording too later today, okay? The recording, the slides, and the handout will all be at this URL you see in front of you. So you can slow me down, speed me up, and a lot of people like to use these slides kind of like an outline to help them as they're setting things up. And I will have, as I said, a worksheet that you can do a checklist to really just walk you through with screen shares or screenshots of how that works. All right, so how can you understand your account? Again, remember what I said about it being really, really important for us to truly understand exactly what people are doing and how we can be better at becoming experts in our customers and serving their needs. So understanding our account and learning our way around will help us get to the information that we need, that we've put together and know are a part of our SMART goals. So when you're in your analytics account, you'll see that the home page looks like this. So you'll see home, reports, explore, advertising, and configure. In the home page, you're getting a dashboard of some of the high-level analytics, kind of that bird's eye view, right, of what's happening on your site. How many users have been there in the last 30 minutes, so you can see in real time what's happening, what your total revenue from the site is, if you have revenue associated with it, and how much time. Remember, we saw Kat was talking about she wanted to increase the average time to 2+ minutes. And you see in this instance, in the example, somebody's been on the site 1 minute and 27 seconds on average for this particular site. So when we go to reports gives us a good snapshot of not just the users that have been there, but where are they coming from? Are they coming from email? Are they coming from organic? Are they coming from direct? This is important for us to know, because do understand, when people find you directly, that means they know your name. They typed in grownebraska.org. That means they understand you. That also lets you know your branding is working. When people know you by name and know to look for you, that means you have good brand equity. They understand that you have a brand and they are looking specifically for you. But let's say they were looking just for growing my business in Nebraska. They're not looking specifically for Grow Nebraska. That is what's known as an organic search. They're looking in general around that topic. They don't know you exist, which means if you're making business decisions, you need to put some efforts into building your brand, because if people don't know to put your name in, they can't find you. So now you're in competition with everybody else who is found from that phrase that they're looking for or what they're searching for, which in this case is growing my business in Nebraska. So you're with everybody, chambers of commerce, SBDCs, SBAs, business centers, you're in competition with everybody. And now you know that the focus needs to be more on developing your brand equity so people can find you. And also it's good to explore and take a look at these reports even further. So we'll go further here to take a look at what these standard reports look like. Let me make that a little bit bigger there. So standard reports, you can select the date range, which I like because I can see what's been happening in the last month or the last year. You can compare, maybe I want to compare Omaha to Kearney or Lincoln to Omaha. So I'm looking and wanting to do a comparison of how both markets are doing. I can also filter things, which is nice, and I can save all of these. So I'm not searching every single time I'm looking on Google Analytics. So in real time, why would you want to see what people are doing in real time? Well, let's say I just did a post to TikTok, or perhaps maybe I just sent an email out and I want to know whether or not it's working. So I would look and see what's happening in real time, because this is letting me know people are coming to my site. And right here, if you look right below this, it says users by first user source. What source did they come from? Did they come from TikTok? Did they come from email? I was working with a business that had just launched a product that was picked up by the Today Show. And the Today Show featured it as one of their fall must-haves. So you could see as people actually clicked in and saw the Today Show as it was going past the time zones, you could see it go across the nation in real time as people were coming into the site. I love this because now you can see immediately if something's effective. And knowing that on socials, things only are relevant for about less than 20 seconds, especially on TikTok, I want to know if there's any impact here, if I'm getting any legs, and am I reaching some places that perhaps I've never reached before. Now, the acquisition report is one of my favorite reports because now this tells you exactly what channels are working for you. When I say channels, it could be that somebody has you put on their site as far as a link, or they added your link or sponsorship to their newsletter, and that's a referral. It's coming in from somebody else's site or their marketing efforts. CPC means cost per click. These are Google ads, or it could be other ads like Bing search ads. So CPC means you paid for those ads. Affiliate means somebody signed up and you give them a small percentage of whatever you make because they're affiliated with you. And email marketing, of course, is email. None means we can't track where they're coming from. And organic means they found you by the industry or information, but not specifically directly knowing your brand or your brand name. Now, engagement will let you know what people are doing on the site. So in Kat's instance, where she wanted to know how many minutes somebody's staying, this is where she'll see a really big breakdown of that. How many sessions per user, which means 1.2 means they came back just one, they looked at your site one time. But sometimes I'll see sessions that are 4.3 or 7.4. That lets me know they came back 7 times to your website. What that means is they are looking and making decisions. This is somebody who is letting you know, I'm interested, but I don't quite know what I'm finding yet. They could be cost comparing with somebody else. It could be that they can't find information on your site, so they're looking. One of the things I would look at here, somebody's come back 7 times, is did they buy? Did somebody in that interaction, when they do those 7 visits, did they actually buy? So I would look at the behavior flow, which is also a report here in Google Analytics. And then I would also want to see, are they going elsewhere? Are they going to maybe competitors? Are they going out for social proof? So they're going back and looking at Facebook or my Google reviews or Yelp. I'd want to know all of those things, again, making me an expert on my customer. You can also see what people are buying. Okay, so this is truly when you're monetizing this. This is if you're getting donors or sponsors, or if you are an e-commerce site. Are you getting people to buy, and what's their behavior? I like to look and see whether or not they actually buy if I'm working with an e-commerce site or somebody who has sponsorships that they sell or packages that they sell. So even when I say e-commerce, it could be service packages, plumbers, HVAC, heating and air conditioning will put packages together, maintenance packages, and sell those all together. I will see if somebody will purchase that, and I will take a look and see if anybody's abandoning the cart compared to abandoning the checkout. The difference between the two is when somebody abandons a cart, it's just like it sounds. Imagine you're in a grocery store, somebody fills the cart and they hightail it off. They wanted it for a moment, but they did not decide to go through the actual purchase. Abandoned checkout is the best way I can physically explain that is, let's say you're at the grocery store, you're at the check stand. It's time to pay, and they say Visa, MasterCard, cash, or check. And you look at them and you say, no, and you leave. That's abandoning the checkout. So they've gotten as far to, I need to pay, and they've been presented with, they may even said, put my little number in and everything where I can get the discount code, but now they've been presented with, they must make a payment, and they made a decision to leave. So now my issue is, or my questions are, do they not trust my site enough to put information in? Do I not have their payment form? Maybe I don't have American Express and that's all they take. Maybe all I provide, or they don't take American Express, sorry, and that's all they have. Maybe they only use Shop Pay or Google Pay or Apple Pay, and I don't have those connected to my site. Maybe I use PayPal and they don't, they're against PayPal, or I use Stripe or Venmo. Again, this is where the abandoned checkout means they abandoned the final checkout process. They've given everything else, normally their address too, if you're doing any shipping or connecting with them and taking that information down. And that's what you'll see is they will leave then. So we want to know what's more actually working and what customers are coming back. Who are we retaining there? How many of our customers do come as returning customers? Because I like to look at that and see and make decisions. Let's for example, in email marketing. Email marketing is a wonderful tool for retargeting and remarketing customers because they already have some know, like, and trust enough with you to leave their email address. So this is a great place to keep returning customers, to remind about subscriptions, to remind about, oh, these are, this is our annual event. This is who I want. And I will focus there on them through retention efforts and see how my remarketing is going and whether or not I'm getting my customers to return. Of course, you can see what the tech is. This is really important. I've been working with teams lately. I think you guys heard me last month because I talked about making your website work for you. That last month, I explained that I've actually encountered now some websites where I see it on my mobile, but when I go to a desktop, I just see a sign saying this site only available on mobile. That is because 82% of us go to mobile first when we want to know, go, do, or buy. We do not go to a desktop, laptop, or tablet. We go to mobile. So knowing that, a lot of businesses who have limited time, energy, and money only build for mobile first and then desktop second. In fact, that's even what the Amazon team encourages their team to do, to not build till desktop or laptop unless they have to, because the majority of their customers, their buying customers, come in through mobile. So for you, you can see what devices are people using, what browsers they're using, and that can help you make better business decisions. You know, I'm speaking today and representing Google, but I'm truly search agnostic. I'm about, you've got to be visible. It doesn't matter if you're using any of the socials, TikTok, any of them. Bing, use it. And we know that Bing is really popular right now because it's got ChatGPT involved in its search. And because the two have linked together, a lot of times I'll see people see here that one of the browsers people are using is Bing. And I'll encourage them to use Bing ads because, again, we want to meet our customers where they are. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people who are looking here to get them to come over here. So if I can show up where they already are, I win, because I don't have to do that heavy lift of getting them to come and see what I'm talking about. So when we talk about Google Analytics, I want to talk about the search box. What's the best way to stand out on Bing in your opinion? It's still looking and understanding what the words are. Keywords are still really, really important for whatever you're doing. Even when I'm working with people in Bing search, you've got to look at keywords. And one of the things that you can do is either look at your own reviews or look at your customers, your competitors' reviews, look at their reviews to see the words people use. Because a lot of times when we're close to our business or industry, we use language that people don't normally search by. Okay, so it's really important for us to understand those words and test those words. So it's a great way to do that and to dominate any search engine. But whatever you've built out for Google, build that out in Bing and in Apple Connect too. I would do all three because people are in all three places. Those are the most popular ones. Okay, so that's a great question, Amanda. Now, how the search box works in Google Analytics, right? There you can go in and start searching some of the data. So you can lean into the analytics intelligence. It's a different kind of AI, but it does look not just at your numbers, but also the industry numbers. So for example, when you go into Google Analytics 4, you'll see a search box right here at the very top, much like you see Google search. You can look and see what are the age of my customers. You can search this way and you can learn more about how to use it and things you can ask it by going to g.co/grow/AI. So you'll see that at the lower left-hand corner, but you can pull reports. You can find out how I can add users. It really is a user-friendly tool to help you get around with analytics without you just getting, really being submerged into it and getting overwhelmed by all the information. Now, you can also customize your insights. So you can set up alerts. Let's say I want to know when people are looking for me in organic Google and they're really looking at my Google main site and maybe they're looking at Google tips. Or I'd love to really understand how many people are viewing different things in different days of the month. So is Monday better than Tuesday, or is before the 15th of the month better than after the 15th of the month? So I know how to actually focus my resources, be it human labor or money, whatever I need to focus on. And then how many people are actually visiting and looking at different merchandise that I might have. So I might look through all of those things. What you're doing when you're looking at your reports is you have the way to filter your reports through what's known as dimensions. So dimensions are different segments of your audience. So let's say I'm Grow Nebraska, and a segment could be people in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, another is people in Omaha, Nebraska. All right, so those could be two different segments. But what a secondary dimension, so two different dimensions. So we call them dimensions here. I know a lot of email marketing uses segments too. They're called dimensions here in Google Analytics. We've got Omaha and we've got Lincoln. But let's say we want to know how many people in Omaha, Nebraska are using an Android phone or using Google Chrome to find us. So that's what's known as a secondary dimension. Let's say we want to also know how many people in Lincoln are using maybe an Android phone, right? Or Google Chrome. So those are different dimensions. Now segments could even be, all right, let's get even more granular than that, right? I want to know how many people are coming in who are from Lincoln, Nebraska. They're using a mobile phone. And then the next segment could be, and they've bought from me in the last month, or they visited the site in the last month, or they visited my competitor in the last month. So it could be that I'm setting up different filters this way. So even though I say dimensions and segments, they're all filters filtering out to a specific audience or specific target market that you're focused on. All right, let's make this bigger because I know that's small. So as you explore here, you can see the different segments that Google Analytics can actually deliver to you. And you can see where the overlaps are too, which is what I like, because if I'm spending a lot of money and effort, let's say I'm just putting everything into, the reels, I'm just doing a bunch of reels. Well, if I see that reels also overlap, well, let's say maybe the circle almost matches another circle, which is Google traffic, then I might realize, you know what, I need to really maybe work on my Google business profile and see and find out which one will increase the amount of people. If they're the same people, maybe I don't need to be in the same place. And I definitely, though, even if I feel like I need to be in the same place, maybe I don't need to be just repurposing the content in both places because they're seeing it twice, right? Or maybe I have a theory that if they see it twice, now it makes me memorable. Okay, so it's just really important for you to study those and really know. Again, that's why I said those SMART goals will help you truly understand what you need to focus on, and the rest of the stuff is just interesting factoids. So going back to Eva and Ricky, what they did is they had their SMART goals together. They looked at 3 cities and they didn't all perform that way when they measured it through their analytics. So they decided to focus their marketing on just 2 of the most profitable cities. So as they focus on the 2 most profitable cities, perhaps their segment then was, you know what, Chicago did really great. We got a lot of people coming in from Chicago. Yeah, for every 100 people that we got, 50 of them left their email address. Of the 50, another half, 50% of those people actually bought from us. While New York did really well, a lot of eyeballs looking at us in New York, but 1,000 people, only 1 purchased, compared to 25 that purchased in Chicago. Where am I going to expend my effort, especially if I have limited time, energy, and money? All right, so as we look at analytics, you can link analytics to an ad. I don't even know why people wouldn't do this, because ads can be very expensive. So if I can, for free, teach Google Ads to understand how people interact with my site and make decisions on my site and how to present itself better, then absolutely, I'm going to connect that. Plus, I also know that when you connect Google tools together, you heard me mention that at the very beginning, when you connect Google tools together, it confirms, it's actually, they signal and ping each other and the algorithm saying, this information is correct. It matches this information here. They have a YouTube account. It matches here. They have a Google business profile. It matches here. They have Google Merchant Center. All of those are pinging each other. And that gives confidence to the search engine that your information is correct, and it lifts you higher organically in search. And that is a part of search engine optimization, because understand, Google's the #1 search engine in the world. And the reason it's #1 is because people are confident when they go in there looking for information, they'll find the correct information. The confidence comes from the search engine and the algorithm knowing that when we deliver information to people, it's correct. So all these different pings are actual great signals. And then what that means to you, it's less cost per click. Because when Google feels solid about what you're providing and your information is relevant and important and helpful, that's really important, because you heard about the helpful content update that Google had at the end of last quarter that rolled out across the whole platform. But understand, when it's helpful, now you have more value to Google, and your cost per clicks are actually less. So that's wonderful. When you link these together, this is what it looks like. You'll go into that, again, that administration at the very bottom. You'll find that at the bottom left-hand margin. You'll click on administration, and this screen will come up when you do that from the admin, and you can go here to Google Ad Linking and just walk through. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it'll walk you through there. Now, I see a question. If the 2 are connected in Universal Analytics, when it moves over to Google Analytics, are they automatically connected already? So if the 2, I'm sorry, Amanda, I missed what the 2 are. If it's Universal Analytics and Google Analytics 4, are you talking about the 2? Oh, you're talking about Google Ads. Okay, sorry. I had to think about it for a moment and connect my own dots there. Perfect. I need more coffee, Amanda. Okay, so let me tell you, if they're connected already, they should. But I would still double check it because I have seen some instances where they're not. I've seen some where it works, some where it doesn't. I don't know what the magic formula is. It's one of those moments, if you've ever had an old TV that you feel like you're kind of standing on it with the little ears trying to figure out the right reception. That's what I feel like. I don't know that it's one for sure, one way or the other. So right now I would double check it and not just assume that, because I want to get that good data and I want to get it started now, because unlike Universal Analytics, when you first attach Universal Analytics, it will go back to the history of your website since your website began and pull that information. But Google Analytics 4 is only pulling information from your site from the day it's connected. So it only starts from that day. So if today, May 3rd, is day 1, that's what you'll see. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. As always, I end with a recap and resources. I've covered quite a bit for you today. And I really want you to think about what are the 1 or 2 things that you are going to apply to make this really matter for you and be of help to you growing your business and attaining your goals. So it could be that you're going to set up Google Analytics or start migrating to Google Analytics 4 and using that more. It could be that you're going to smart test, that 5 smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. You're going to smart test all your goals. Maybe you're going to find out what matters most in your business. What are people looking at? What do they want? Really become an expert in your customer. It is our job as business owners and business marketers to be those experts and to connect the dots and deliver them what they need as they go through their decision journey. And then we'll measure those results to truly see if we are doing what we need to do. Because if we're not measuring, we're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So it's important for us to understand that. Now, I do want to share this with you. I have a 5-day visibility plan that's 100% free that takes you truly through some of the free tools and how you can apply and use those. So you can get that right here at this URL, or use that QR code and snap that, and you can get a copy of that, a free copy of that. Feel free to do that, because I do want you all to be visible. I know how important it is, and I know how many small businesses make mistakes in absolutely maximizing all of their tools, or they pay for things that they don't need to pay for because it's already available for them through some free tools. Okay. Now, if you'd like to review me, as always, I do like to model what I teach people. You ask for a review when you've provided good service. If this has been good and helpful to you, I would love the review. I'd like to know if this matters to you and it's been helpful. And of course, please reach out to Grow Nebraska, because they are truly vested in your success. And I love that they do this every month for you. It is amazing that you have this kind of support. That support system means all the difference in the world. When I first started my business 18 plus years ago, I was in a business incubator. Had it not been for that business incubator, then I would not be successful, because I'm not a banker. I'm not an accountant. My degree's in marketing, 100% in marketing. I did accounting just enough to fulfill the credits to graduate. Couldn't remember anything from there. But I needed that team of people helping me hone my business skills and really teaching me how to goal set for me to be able to make a difference and to grow my business. If you want to connect with me, this is the best way to connect with me. You can find me at bit.ly/findmaria. That'll bring up all of my socials, and you can connect with me on any social. Yeah, I can go back to the bit.ly link. Absolutely, Kat. Thank you for asking. Let me go right here. So it's bit.ly, get found in 5, or you can use that QR code. When switching over, do you know if Google ads that are already running need to be redone, or do they continue? Oh, your Google ads will stay exactly as they are, Amanda. You don't have to do anything to Google ads at all. But where the thing that you'll need to do, the connection, is through actual Google Analytics 4. So when I was showing you, let me bring that up real quick. Let me pause the share real quick, so I'm not flashing in front of you here, but let me get to that. So right here, you'll see it right here. Google Ads linking, that's what you need to do, is just go to Google Analytics 4 and do this. Once you're linked to the account, the ad account will still behave just like it needs to. That's not going to change. It's just you're now linking Universal Analytics and also Google Analytics 4 to Google Ads. No, that will not trigger a change. Great question, Amanda. Really, really great question. I'm glad you asked it. So no, it will not. Okay. All right. Go back here now. And Again, reminder, this is how you can connect with me. Of course, you can find me through Grow Nebraska. The entire team is an amazing team, and I truly am in awe every time I see them post of all they do to help support small businesses. But now for you, you've gotten this information. They can do all that part in bringing it to you. I've shared it with you. You're going to get a copy of the slides and the recording and all this, but what are you going to apply? Because that's all on you. Understand, knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. What are you going to do to help grow your business? Could it be better in understanding SMART goals or getting in the habit? Now you're going to set the goal. You know what? Every week, every day, I'm going to go over my SMART goals every morning to make sure every moment of time is getting me closer to my goal. And I'm not doing things that are just interesting or entertaining for me, but I'm really doing something to move forward. Okay. So now, does anybody have any questions? Because we've got about 7 minutes left before we're at the top of the hour. I'm not opposed to it all giving gifts of time, but I want to be here if you have any questions to ask, and I'm happy to answer those. One of the reports, as I said, was the acquisition report. I like to look at that because I like to look where people come from. A lot of times people will look at socials and think that's where everything's at. And I'm a big fan of socials, don't get me wrong. But I understand too the amount of time that you can spend in socials compared to the return you can get. So I like people to be strategic in everything that they can do to get them to their goals. You're very welcome, Kimberly. I'm happily, can't speak today. I'm happy that you have great information there. Well, I shouldn't say that. I could speak, I spoke. I just need more coffee. Any other questions? Happy to answer any questions. Feel free to ask those in the chat box. Well, I want to say, will Grow Nebraska help set up your business? I am not sure about that. I know that they are very supportive and provide information, but I don't know if they do set up services. So that might be something we'll wait to see what Zoe says in the chat. If not, if they don't do it themselves, understand they know the businesses in the community and the entire state. And that's what I love is you'll do business locally. So if they can connect you with somebody that they already know and have worked with, that will be helpful too. So I'm not sure if they do, they may do both.
Yes, I'm back on here. Karen, we definitely can help with setting up your Google My Business page. So I'll have my contact information here at the end if you want to. Oh, Amanda's already on it. Yep,
Perfect,
Amanda
Amanda.
popped her contact information there so we can get you some help on that, Karen. So great question.
Nice. Perfect. We learned together, Karen.
Yes. All right. Is there any other questions for Maria before we wrap up for today's webinar? Looks like I'm not seeing anything. Did you have any last remarks? Maria, sorry, there's another chat.
Asking if that's Amanda Long. Somebody, I guess Karen may know you.
It's Amanda Miller, Karen.
Okay. Wonderful, Jasmine. I'm so glad it was helpful to you. Thank you. Should people switch now or right before July? I would switch now because remember what I said, Google Analytics 4 is only tracking from the day you connect it. So it doesn't go back into your website history. And the quicker you can get in there, now what I'm doing with people that I work with, I look at the businesses and I'll say, okay, let's look at your Universal Analytics numbers and let's look at your Google Analytics 4 numbers and make sure that we've got everything connected correctly and it's tracking properly. Because let's say I was working with somebody who has a Shopify store and their Shopify store is showing that, they get, let's just say they got 90,000 in sales, the Shopify store is showing that. But Google Analytics, Universal Analytics is showing that they got 85,000. I understand that because it takes Google about 24 hours for it to register whenever a purchase or anything is made on a site on Shopify. I understand that. But let's say that's what Universal Analytics. So you expect that difference. So that's not a surprise. They get it tracked at 85,000, but then they go to Google Analytics 4 and it's only tracking 70,000. All right, something's amiss then, because 85 should be able to link and connect with 85. So I do like to do that and have that history. So now you can take a look at it and make some decisions of, did I set everything up correctly? Is it all good to go? When we start July 1st, everything went well, or do I need to reach out to Grow Nebraska for some help? Do you have a graphic by chance that walks you through what people need to do? Yes, actually, there is actually on the slide deck, there is that. So you can see how to set that up. It's actually to find the Google Analytics assistant. Let me see if I can get back to that without. There we go. Get back to it and show you it, because it's when you do set that up, it's right here towards the beginning. It will actually walk you through. So what you're going to do, let me go ahead and share this again. There you go. So what you'll do is you'll go down to admin. It's the gear here on the left-hand side. All the navigation of all Google tools are on the left-hand side. You'll go all the way down to the bottom. You'll see admin. And then you'll also see Setup Assistant right here, Google Analytics 4. It's in the second column, the middle column, and it says GA4 Setup Assistant. Plus, take a quick snap of that URL at the bottom left-hand corner there, because that's support.google.com/analytics. And that's where you can ask questions, and you can even ask for support, somebody in the Google team to actually get on with you in a chat and walk you through, share their screen, or even take over your screen if needed to help walk you through that. So you have availability there. Take that snap, because that's where you'll find that help at, okay? Any other questions? If you resource. Yes, you can use that as a resource for others. So make sure you take a quick snap of that, and that way you'll have that to share with other people. Right? Questions? Any other questions? I think we're 1 minute till time. Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Maria, so much for all that good information about Google Analytics, and the recording will be sent out to everyone. And I do have the link to your slides, so I will also put that in there as well.
Nice.
And then I will go ahead and pop my screen up. Look out of this. All right, so thank you again, Maria. We look forward to the first Wednesday in June. And thank you to everyone that attended live, and to those of you that are watching the recording. We missed you, but we hope you're able to attend live on the next training. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at zoe@grownebraska.org, or feel free to give our store a call, and we'll definitely help you out with any questions. We have some awesome upcoming trainings. So May 18th, we'll cover recruit and retain top talent by offering a retirement plan. And I do apologize, as we had a description error on this training specifically. So be sure to pop on to grownebraska.org and check out the updated description on that one. And then our next one will be May 25th, and that will cover Facebook Ads 101. I've had a lot of people ask me about Facebook ads. So if you're ever wondering how to do those, definitely hop up on that training. And then we have our in-person training, which is actually tomorrow, and that's a mini market tech workshop in Randolph. So registration for that is still open if you're interested, or in that area, I guess. And then, like Maria said, we actually just started featuring on this because of you, Maria. So if we've done a good job or helped you out at all, or if you have any thoughts about the Grow Nebraska Foundation, we would love to see your review. So feel free to scan this QR code, or just type in Grow Nebraska Foundation on Google, and our Google page will come up. So again, thank you, everyone. Special thanks to Maria, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.